good morning, and kind of a nice couple of days coming up here as we start to warm up finally.
Good.
All right, here we are. Tonight we'll be at Babes at 6 p.m. for the Boilermaker National Anthem Audition Contest, and I think we have somewhere between 25 and 30 contestants right now that are all going to be performing, and we'll get to that. Ray Stagik from the Weather Channel coming up. We'll get a little update from him on where the weather is going. Jonathan Savage, World Cup update. Jim Bono, Herkimer County, is in this morning. A lot to talk about there. How about the results from last night? We'll get to that. Tanya Powers will have statewide national results, and then Ryan Nobles from NBC. Smullen losing to Constantino. Smullen still on the ballot on the conservative line, but what does that mean?
Yeah, so I will say, you and I talked after the show, I did think Constantino was...
We both said advantage Constantino.
Yeah. So when we talked to Robert Smullen yesterday, he was talking about the seat being a Republican seat and that it had been a Republican seat for a long time. Look, I think it's clear that vote is going to get split, even if, let's say, because Constantino won, let's say he took the majority. The split, I think, is definitely going to hurt the Republican Party.
Well, if he stays and he's on the ballot, the question will be, will Smullen actively campaign? And I would expect that he will not. Listen, he's not going to be able to raise money. He struggled raising money, it seems, this time around. He's not going to be able to raise money. Actually, he won in Herkimer County. Mark Butler carried that torch. But Oneida County was a real problem. Constantino carrying Oneida County, which is Rome and parts just north of Utica.
Yeah. So you're right. I guess it remains to be seen if Smullen actively campaigns, but he has said that he would, and that he wasn't going to just give up the endorsement from the Conservative Party that he got.
We'll get into some of these numbers here after Minaski's update, but the LIPE BTAR race has been called. LIPE with the win there. That is interesting because the Democratic turnout. This is Mary Ann's district, a Democrat, and you usually get there hasn't been a primary because before Mary Ann, there hasn't been a primary on the Democratic side. Before Mary Ann, there was Anthony Brindisi, who often just ran unopposed in the general, let alone a primary.
Yeah.
So
before that, Rohan DeStito.
And yes,
kind of the same situation.
So you kind of wonder what the history is. There really isn't any history that I could really go back to and reference. But I can tell you one thing. The Democratic primary on the other side outperformed. They got about 600 or 700 more voters than the Democratic side. So turnout was low. You're looking at just about 3,000 people turned out in a district where during the general, you may see 35,000 people vote in that race. This shows you how dangerous a primary can be and how it's so important to get that vote out.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I feel as though, my opinion here, LIPE and BTAR weren't actively campaigning. I don't think. Did we talk to BTAR on the show?
Once.
And we didn't talk to LIPE once. Yeah, but it was a while ago, right?
Yeah. And
I don't
and you can't say I didn't reach out. I reached out to John LIPE because we have a connection with him being a member of close to my family. I reached out numerous times to his man, and they said, thanks for the offer, but he's too busy, maybe after the primary.
Why didn't you reach out to him?
I said I did reach out to him.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't. Ray is calling.
That's right.
Okay. So, in full disclosure, I did do some commercials, TV commercials and radio commercials for BTAR. But the primary is a different animal. Primary, because the numbers are low, listen, your general election is everything all encompassed, right? Your ground game,
Yep.
your get out the vote, your direct mail, right down to shaking hands. But this race, I completely agree, there was not an excitement around this race. It was very low key. Light, by the way, is the progressive candidate. Bitar would be considered the more established Democrat. Somebody who you could look at and say, yeah, he could be a Democrat or a Republican. And in a Democratic primary, that's not necessarily going to help. So this is going to be interesting. And then on the other side, Gentile and Fusco. Gentile's up right now in that race, but it's too close to call. I think it's 100 and some odd votes between the two of them, with most likely absentee ballots to count. So take it for what it is. We'll talk more about it. You want to comment? 315-736-0186.
There was no, on the Democrat side, there was no mudslinging. There was no
nothing. Yeah,
there wasn't. Yeah,
it was quiet.
Very quiet.
And the other part is, here's the other problem with that. The only other Democratic race, you had DiNapoli running against nobodies, and he won by a landslide. And then the Gendabine race, which would cover just north of Utica and Rome, also was not a very exciting race. That was also very quiet.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the Constantino and Smullen race just sucked the air out of the room for all of it. So there's a lot to talk about and a lot to look back on with this. But the primaries out of the way, and one race still basically undecided. Let's go to more indecision. That's not true. Ray Stachik is absolutely sure.
Nail it every time.
Absolutely sure.
Every time.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we've got a kind of a pretty steady run going here. But I have to tell you, Ray, everywhere else in the world, it's like mayhem. Weather mayhem and heat here and in Europe. It's literally killing people. So what is going on?
Yeah, and we'll get a little touch, I guess, of some real summertime heat as we get into next week, but not prolonged. What I mean by prolonged is that it's not going to last like for weeks and weeks. You know, when you get into those heat waves where you're like, when is this going to end?
Yeah.
Probably not going to be like that. But, around the country, it's been relatively I would say tame in terms of the summertime heat, but that's going to be changing, especially for the central eastern half of the nation with this big ridge building in next week. There's already some chatter about it. A ton of rain last week in some spots, and even over the last couple of days. Did you see some of those totals that came out of Louisiana from Arthur?
Yeah.
What was left? There was like almost 30 inches of rain. Very isolated areas, and unfortunately, areas that, were underwater. We had water into homes and businesses, and weather's still having quite a bit of impact, and it will continue to do so, except in our backyard.
And to put it in perspective, 30 inches of rain would be how much snow? That'd be a lot of snow.
30 feet, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
About that, it's just an amazing amount of water, and luckily, the tropical Atlantic quiet for now, and looks like it's going to stay that way in a season again, which is predicted to be below normal in terms of number of named storms. But that's a good lesson, Bill. I know really we don't get impacted that much by tropical systems, but you hear all this chatter of below average season, and then you can get one event, and we've had what Arthur was, and it was catastrophic for some. It was just like it was an El Nino year for the year that Andrew went into South Florida. That wasn't until August. That was the only major storm, and everybody would say that's a bad year. So blah, 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 this and that. And
what's interesting is this is the 1 year, we're around the 1 year anniversary of the tornadoes that came through here, deadly in our area. And it looks like we've had a couple more touchdown, at least two in upstate New York, touchdown last week or within the last week. So
Yeah, I think it was either 2 or 3. Yeah, weak EF zeros. Maybe there was an EF1 in there.
Yeah.
But nothing too widespread. And a lot of the severe weather will stay well to our west over the next few days. Not saying we're not going to get a few thunderstorms in here, but it doesn't look like we're going to have that risk for severe weather. So that would mean wind and hail and even any tornadoes that could come in. But what a morning. Boy, it's actually in the mid-40s in parts of the Adirondacks. Saranac Lake right now is 46. And I think a pleasant afternoon. Today, probably one of the best days of the next several days as we'll start to get back into showers, thunder showers tomorrow and maybe even on Friday. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be better coverage. Tomorrow could be a day where you're just on and off with the rain showers and thunder showers just about all day. Friday, a little bit more scattered. And then the weekend, if it holds the way it looks right now, how about low humidity, sunshine, highs low to mid 80s, overnight lows close to 60, which is going to put many of us in the pleasant 50s. You know, those summertime mornings, Bill, you take that deep breath, and you're like, wow, this is late June. This is great. But then I do see some 90-degree heat coming next week.
It is going to warm up, right?
No, I was just going to say some of these cooler nights that we've had. I'm doing baseball games, and I'll see somebody's grandmother sitting there under a blanket in a lawn chair, and I keep saying it, Ray. I've been saying it since early April. It's going to warm up in May. Okay. It's going to warm up in May. I know we're almost to July, but I'm just going to keep saying it. It's going to
warm up in July.
It's going to warm up in May.
It'll warm up next May.
Yeah.
Next May. Now, a few 90-degree days will be pretty close, probably Tuesday through Thursday, and then low to mid-80s. The 4th right now, I don't like to go out that far, but it does look dry, low 80s for now, and staying right around 80 degrees even on and beyond that. So 80, 60, 80 for the high, 60 for low is about what we should do this time of year. So we'll go above average next week, spend a couple of days close to 90. But other than that, enjoy the great weather, especially this weekend.
Yes, I'm really, really looking forward to it. So, Ray, we appreciate it. Have a great rest of the week.
You too.
All right. Thanks so much. Ray Stajic with the Weather Channel. And I do think that earlier prediction, like a week and a half ago, where they said cooler and wetter for upstate New York, I do kind of wonder if that's going to not hold true, because it certainly doesn't look like that. It does now, but it doesn't look like that for next week. All right, Manasseh with an update.
Bill, right now, sunshine and 55. It is 6:39. Democratic Socialists are the big winners in New York's primary elections. The candidates endorsed by New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani include progressive challenger Brad Lander, who has accused Israel of committing genocide in Gaza. He beat two-term incumbent Dan Goldman, who was supported by pro-Israel groups. Democratic Socialist Claire Valdez won the primary for New York's 7th congressional district, also running on a pro-Palestinian platform. And Democratic Socialist Avila Chevalier defeated five-term incumbent Adriano Espaillat to win New York's 13th congressional district. Here closer to home, Anthony Constantino winning the Republican primary for New York's 21st congressional district over Robert Smullen in the 119th Assembly District. Still too close to call in the Republican primary between Mike Gentile and Dan Fusco. On the Democrat side in that same race, it appears that John Leip has the lead right now and may win that race.
That's been called.
Oh, it's been called?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, okay. The Senate passing the War Powers Resolution on Iran, marking the first time both chambers of Congress approved such a measure. The Senate on Tuesday approved the House-passed resolution, which seeks to end the conflict without Congress declaring war on authorizing the use of military force. Passage, though, is mostly symbolic because it does not carry the force of law. President Trump expected to sign a massive housing affordability bill later today with the goal of lowering prices. The bill cleared the House Tuesday night as it passed in the Senate on Monday in an overwhelmingly bipartisan vote. The bill would cut away some of the red tape and make it easier to build homes while also putting limits on institutional investors buying up homes. A jury will begin deliberations today as they consider the evidence in the deadly Southern California Palisades fire trial. Closing arguments wrapped up yesterday at the federal courthouse in L.A. Prosecutors say Jonathan Rinderknecht set a fire in Pacific Palisades on New Year's Eve a year and a half ago because he was angry with his life and with rich people. The fire was put out by the LA Fire Department, but it rekindled days later when powerful winds ripped through the Pacific Palisades. And Earth, Wind & Fire, speaking of, is being crowned the greatest R&B group of all time by Billboard. The group took the top spot out of 50 on the Billboard list. They're followed by The Temptations, Sly and the Family Stone, the Isley Brothers, and the Supremes. WIBX 950 AM.
That makes me want to shout. Isley Brothers. Sorry.
You threw me off there. I was going to try to pull some song references. I don't have many, though. Sunshine in 55, Bill, it's 6:42.
Finally started clear on out and a good-looking morning. Comfortable, too. Mostly sunny this afternoon, and I like that word comfortable, so I'll go with that. A comfortable 80. Tonight, some clouds, mid-50s, North Country again cooler, and we change it up tomorrow. A few showers around, an afternoon thunderstorm 80, and a chance of showers, but only early Friday. Should be dry most of the day, but cloudy 80. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Bill, we have sunshine and 55 degrees.
We'll talk about these races coming up in a second. Jonathan Savage also with the latest on the World Cup. Weekly legal segment with attorney Jeremy Rosenthal is coming up, and we'll get to that. Also, dealing with any pain, discomfort in your knees, some pain in the hips, back, could be coming from your feet. Time for the Arch Support Specialists. It's the Good Feet Store. Call them today at 315-999-3910 or visit them in New Hartford. And start your journey towards a freedom from pain. A free fitting and test walk. You just walk in. Everything is made in the USA. These are inserts that go into your current shoes, or you could buy shoes at the Good Feet Store. A three-step system that includes strengtheners, in maintainers, and relaxers that will ultimately correct your step, and the goal is to get rid of the pain. The Good Feet Store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford, 315-999-3910.
Step away from the screen and into something real at the 2026 Glimmerglass Festival, where summer comes alive with the finest in opera and musical theater just minutes from Cooperstown.
The Glimmerglass Festival is a world-class summer celebration of the arts overlooking beautiful Otsego Lake, making it an easy day trip from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
This year's festival runs July 10th through August 17th and includes Puccini's masterpiece, Madame Butterfly, Rodgers and Hammerstein's groundbreaking Oklahoma, a new English translation of Mozart's Così, and Fellow Travelers, a story of forbidden love and political intrigue.
The Glimmerglass Festival, no filters, no algorithms, just unforgettable performances and a perfect summer's day by the lake with world-class opera and musical theater, just a short drive from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
Experience live music, live voices, and live storytelling. No scrolling required. Visit glimmerglass.org to purchase tickets and learn more. Then put down the phone, close the laptop, and join us for real connections at the festival.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors. Available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls in Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Real talk.
This is Bill Keeler.
It's Brian Kilmeade.
Hey girl, Jimmy Fallon in the house.
Sean Hannity.
This is Guy Benson.
News you can trust. This is WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Keeler in the morning, Keeler in the morning.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, let's see. The Good Feet store, according to Mike this morning, is Leonard Skinner saying, give me 3 steps, 3-step system. Give me 3 steps, give me 3 steps, give me 3 steps towards the door. I believe that's it. Okay, so there's a lot here from these election results that we're trying to weed through here this morning. But in some bit of conclusion for you, there's one race that still is up in the air, and that is the race between Fusco and Gentile. Gentile is leading right now, but it is too close to call. Maybe about 100 votes, a little more than that, in terms of a lead, maybe a little less than that. I don't know exactly where it is, but that one is too close to call. Otherwise, everything has basically been resolved. Constantino and Gendabine will face off in NY21 in the seat currently held by Elise Stefanik.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I don't know how much of a post-mortem you want to do or we should do, why Smullen lost or why Constantino succeeded.
I've got a few thoughts on that, and we'll get to it coming up. A few things that happened yesterday that I just thought were pretty unbelievable and effective, and we'll get to it. First, though, let's get an update on the World Cup and how the games are going from a European perspective. Jonathan Savage is in London. Jonathan, good morning. Let me tell you, the Scots are taking over America wherever they go. It's unbelievable.
I know. I have seen roller skating bagpipe players on South Beach.
Yeah,
it's a little bit like a fever dream.
Yeah.
A little bit like a fever dream. Because World Cup fever absolutely is in the air right now. Miami does not know what's hit them. And it's not just the Scots in Miami, it's Scots and the Brazilians. So you've got like a bagpipe samba carnival taking place down there. I wish I was there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. It really is spectacular. It's amazing to see how these fans. Well, and the Scots. Here's a good example. They were at might have been a Miami Marlins game, or they were at a Major League Baseball game. And the rule is, it was a Red Sox game.
Red Sox,
actually. And the rule is, in American baseball, when play goes back in, I used to be a public address announcer along with a play-by-play guy for minor league baseball. And the rule is, the minute they step into that batter's box, the music stops. It's all concentration on the pitch, the swing, the game. When everybody's out of play and the ump calls basically time, music can play again. Not the Scots. They were singing and singing like you would in a soccer match, and it was really something to be seen.
Yeah, I hope it didn't affect the game too much. And please forgive them for not knowing the conventions.
Yeah, well, it was pretty cool to watch. That's all I can say.
You know what would be hilarious, though? If somebody homers and they start yelling, "Go!" right? On a home run?
Let me, I would love to know your thoughts. I mean, in the United States, we're like, you know what? I don't know. These American men, they look really good in 2 games. I mean, is that really a laugh when you take it from a European perspective?
I think that this U.S. team looks better than most other U.S. teams we've seen, to be honest with you. I think there's room for optimism that they could go pretty deep in the tournament, depending on who they come up against. Because if they end up playing one of the big countries early in the knockout phases, then it could be a problem.
Yeah.
But a favourable run in the bracket, they could go pretty far. They've got great goal-scoring potential in the side. Pulisic, Balogun. They've been really impressive. They scored bags of goals, didn't they, against Paraguay, and then a good couple against Australia. They're playing Turkey in the last game, which is not quite a dead rubber, but there's not too much pressure because they know they're going to be going through to the next phase anyway. Yeah. I think you guys could be pretty optimistic about it.
Yeah, in fact, I was reading that in this next game they may reserve and hold back a few players because they don't really need to win this game.
Yeah, you've got to pace yourself in tournament soccer. You've got to make sure that you don't want to get any unnecessary injuries or suspensions to your key players. So if you can rest 1 or 2 stars in matches of lesser importance, then you can do that. You've got a squad of 26 players. You should make full use of that.
Have you called your prediction for a winner of the whole thing?
From what I've seen so far, France look really hard to beat. They will score goals in every single game, and their defense is pretty decent as well. Hard to see past them, but who knows?
Well, I do have to say, in a world where things are just so upside down, it is refreshing to see people come here and forget about politics and just have a blast. And I think those coming into the United States are enjoying it as much as we are enjoying them.
Yeah, absolutely. People are having a fantastic time. They're getting into American culture as well. They're enjoying American food, and they are really appreciating the warm welcome that they have received.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Let's keep it going. This could be a start of something. Who knows? The world could be changing. Jonathan, we enjoy your perspective, and thank you so much. We'll do it again soon.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Jonathan Savage with Fox News Radio. It is cool to watch, right? And the Scots are really stealing the show. And I think Jonathan is Scottish, pretty sure. But the Scots are definitely stealing the show. And in fact, and as I spoke with Fred Matt, it probably was a bit of a made-up story, but the whole thing where Sam Adams, and they're talking a little more about this, where Sam Adams and their brewery bar or whatever they call it, that's where they kind of had to call in for extra reserves when it comes to more beer because they were running low. The Scots were partying pretty hard.
I have to ask, how long has this tournament gone on for so far?
I think we're in the U.S.
week?
We're going into our 3rd week.
Right. We still got about 3 left.
Yeah. It doesn't end until about
It ends July 19th, around there.
19th, 20th, 22nd,
So that's another
I think.
3 weeks. So we got about almost 4 weeks.
Yeah.
3.5
Oh,
weeks.
The U.S. plays tomorrow at 10 o'clock at night.
10 p.m. tomorrow night. That's not such a bad time for the sport that is. Who do they play tomorrow? Australia, right?
Turkey.
They played Australia, and they beat Australia 2-0. They played Turkey. Not a game that they need to win, but my guess is maybe a few people will be sitting in that game.
So the crux of my question is, do all these people work from home? You've taken off 6 weeks to travel to the United States to watch the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
And we're just going to hang out and we'll see how long our team lasts. And we'll worry about getting home and showing up for work. We'll worry about that later.
It's unbelievable how they're able to do this. But a lot of Europeans will take a month off. Like the month of July is usually July and then August, between July and August, is a time where people will just take an extended vacation. Not anything. I mean, we're like a 1 week, 2 week vacation country. They'll take a month. So
Do
maybe
we blame corporate America for that?
I don't know who to blame. We probably look down on it. Back on this primary yesterday. Any thoughts that you're coming away with? Yesterday, you and I talked, and we talked during the show, after the show, and then after the show. And I'd called you yesterday to say, I got to tell you, I just got a message, or I guess it was a message. I had several messages yesterday.
You don't call me.
From Anthony Constantino. I call you every day, Davey. Several messages from Anthony Constantino yesterday.
I got that one as soon as the show ended, and I sent it off to you, Bill. That's the text message I got personally from Anthony that I sent off to you.
Well, that was different. That was a message directly to us.
Oh, okay.
These other messages are
campaign.
They're campaign messages.
Yeah.
So you got the one from President Trump. You got the Rudy Giuliani message that came in. And then there was one where Constantino, and I guess I must have watched the video of this or listened to it. Constantino decided to donate his entire congressional salary to a wounded warrior and his family, who was severely wounded in I believe in Afghanistan or somewhere fighting for us in the Middle East, and he's given his entire salary to the family. And then he went so far as to say, and this is the first time I've heard him actually ever reference this, that he might not win. He said that if he loses, he is still going to donate that amount of money to that family. And that's the stuff that was coming out yesterday. I probably got, I don't know. Now, remember, here's the funny thing. While I am a registered Republican, I am not in the 21st Congressional District. And I must have gotten 10 messages from him yesterday. So he was he wasn't able to differentiate. He just blanketed all of those text messages throughout the entire district and a little bit beyond. But there was no doubt. I mean, he was saying, listen, we need every single vote. These are the messages I was getting. I'm sure people got them as well.
Right.
We need every vote. Call your friends. Call your family members. Tell them to get out. I need that vote. I need every vote I can get today. And that's really what you have to do in a primary.
Yeah, I completely agree. Do you think that was very impactful, though?
I do.
It's very last minute. I mean, the polls had already been open for a few hours when he sends that text out.
When you're sitting there, and say you're some retired guy, and you're sitting there, and the weather's finally nice, and you decide you're going to sit in your backyard and watch the squirrels. All of a sudden, a text message comes in, and it's like, oh, my God, I forgot. Today's primary day. I got to get out and vote. Let me just go do that and get it out of the way. I did. Now, one of the things with your get out the vote that you have to be careful of, and this is calculated, believe me, is sometimes a get out the vote from candidate A will alert the voters of candidate B to get out and vote.
Right.
So sometimes it can backfire on you. But I think he needed but then you come out with this story that you're going to give to a veteran's family, your entire salary. He's already said he wasn't going to take a salary. Now he's changed that and said he's taking a salary and giving it to a wounded veteran. And I just think stuff like that at the last minute can inspire, a few votes.
I'll share some thoughts on this. On the other side, it bothers me a little. Why so last minute? That's a great thing to do, but could
I'll tell you that in a second. I'll give you my opinion coming up.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Payne Insurance Studio, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Socialists unite in New York City. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Voters picked 3 of them in Democratic primaries for Congress.
Solidarity is the force that we need to vanquish Trump's fascism, to abolish ICE, and to stand up to the billionaires.
Brad Lander defeated Congressman Dan Goldman by more than 30 points after getting support from Socialist Mayor Zoran Mamdani. Claire Valdez also rode that endorsement to primary victory, and the third winner knocked out another incumbent, Congressman Adriano Espaillat.
The chair of the Hispanic Congressional Caucus loses his seat to Mamdani-backed Democratic Socialist Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier. Chevalier wants to abolish ICE in prisons and says all deportations are wrong, even for convicted murderers. She led anti-Israel protests at Columbia University.
That's Fox's Brian Yennis. President Trump posted on Truth Social, America the Beautiful will never be a communist country. A Republican he endorsed the other day in South Carolina won a runoff for governor.
I want to thank you, Mr. President.
Alan Wilson beat Pamela Yvette, who the president had also endorsed. Wilson will face Democrat Jermaine Johnson in November. In another Truth post, President Trump demanded oil companies stop gouging us at the pump, demanding gas prices fall as fast as oil prices have after the deal with Iran reopened shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. And speaking of that agreement that aims to prevent Iran from having nuclear weapons,
Iranian officials played down Vice President J.D. Vance's announcement that they'd agreed to allow in nuclear inspectors. But the UN's nuclear watchdog says Iranian statements are just politics.
This has been signed, has been agreed. This memorandum of understanding says explicitly that nuclear activities will be supervised by the IAEA.
Rafael Grossi from the International Atomic Energy Agency. He won't confirm when inspections will start.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The president also posted that the Senate approving war powers resolution's meaningless. America's listening to Fox News.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon?
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
While voters in New York City were choosing socialists, calling for ICE to be abolished in Democratic primaries, 8 people were locked away for a long time in Texas.
For last year's armed July 4th attack on the Prairieland ICE Detention Center in Alvarado, Texas, which resulted in a police officer shot in the neck. Alleged organizer Benjamin Song, who shot and wounded the officer, was sentenced to 100 years in prison. The 7 others received terms ranging from 30 to 70 years. Prosecutors calling it domestic terrorism, calling the violence an attack plotted by Antifa operatives. But defense attorneys deny there were Antifa associations, insisting it was just a demonstration with fireworks before gunshots broke out. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed. Down a bit for the Dow, up for the NASDAQ the day after it plunged 579 points. At soccer's World Cup, another star player makes history.
Ronaldo through the middle. It's Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal. It's 3-0. And Ronaldo strikes again.
He scored twice on Fox, leading Portugal past Uzbekistan 5-0. Ronaldo's the first player ever to score in 6 different World Cups. Colombia and Croatia also won. England and Ghana tied 0-0. NBA teams got new players last night.
The Washington Wizards selected BYU's A.J. DeBonsa with the first overall pick of the 2026 NBA Draft. DeBonsa led the NCAA in scoring last season, averaging 26 points per game. The Utah Jazz picked Kansas's Darren Peterson second, and the Memphis Grizzlies took AP Player of the Year Cameron Boozer from Duke at 3. The national champion Michigan Wolverines had 3 players go in the top half of the draft. Forward Morez Johnson Jr. got drafted 9th overall by the Dallas Mavericks, who just hired former Michigan coach Dusty May.
That's Tony Genualdo. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Some sunshine, 56 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05, this news update brought to you by Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. We'll begin with some primary updates here in the 21st Congressional District in New York. 2 primaries. The winner on the Democrat side, Blake Gendabine. Anthony Constantino defeating Doug Smullen on the Republican side. Smullen, though, still has the Conservative Party endorsement for the election in November. He does, though, have the option to decline that endorsement. We'll see if he actively campaigns. We'll talk more about that coming up. 2 primaries as well in the 119th Assembly District here in New York State. On the Democrat side, John Leip defeating Joe Bitar. On the Republican side, too close to call right now between Mike Gentile and Dan Fusco. The vice president of the Cazenovia School Board stepping down after being arrested. Travis Longo resigned from his position after the board started the process to remove him for official misconduct. Authorities claim the 46-year-old Longo was exchanging sexually explicit messages with the child, and a search of his phone led to the discovery of disturbing sexual abuse videos. Longo will remain behind bars pending a federal trial. New York Mills Police and State Police investigating what they are currently calling a suspicious death. Authorities were called for a welfare check just before 11 o'clock Tuesday morning on New Hartford Street. New York Mills Police Chief Robert Franklin telling News Channel 2 that a woman was discovered, whom police are calling a victim, and had been there in the home for an extended period of time. The chief also saying there is no threat to the public. A vehicle fire involving a delivery truck. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office responding to a vehicle fire on Mohawk Street in the town of Marcy. It happened after 10 o'clock last night. Deputies dispatched to assist the Maynard Fire Department after a FedEx truck caught fire. A FedEx tractor trailer smelling like its brakes were burning. After exiting State Route 49, the FedEx tractor trailer had pulled over onto Candela Express Drive off of Mohawk Street. That's where the local FedEx hub is located, actually just around the corner from us. The driver calling 911. The fire appeared to have been caused by the brakes of the vehicle. Whitesboro Fire and State Police also assisting at the scene. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Finally started clear on out and a good-looking morning. Comfortable, too. Mostly sunny this afternoon, and I like that word comfortable, so I'll go with that. A comfortable 80. Tonight, some clouds, mid-50s, North Country again cooler, and we change it up tomorrow. A few showers around, an afternoon thunderstorm 80, and a chance of showers, but only early Friday. Should be dry most of the day, but cloudy 80. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Sunshine and 56 at 7:08. All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, we'll begin in baseball here. The Mets taken down by the Cubs 9-6 at Citi Field. Kodai Senga takes the loss. The Mets have now dropped 3 straight. They continue their 4-game series against the Cubbies. They'll play 2 today, 1-10 and 7-10. The Yankees put an end to their losing streak as they beat the Tigers 4-3 in Detroit. They had dropped 3 straight, and they close out their 3-game series coming up tonight. One member of the Jets dealing with some off-the-field issues. Police in Davie, Florida, saying that quarterback Geno Smith is being investigated after an incident in which a woman accuses him of battery. Officers were summoned to Smith's home on Sunday after a woman claimed she was assaulted by Geno Smith. Since the investigation is active, no additional information is being released at this time. Some news on the NBA draft held last night. The Wizards selecting A.J. DiBonzo with their first overall pick. The fearless forward became the only player in BYU history to go number 1 in the draft. The Jazz taking Kansas backcourt stud Darren Peterson with the second pick. The Grizzlies took Duke's Cameron Boozer third overall. North Carolina's Caleb Wilson and Illinois' Keaton Wagler went to the Bulls and Clippers to round out the top 5 selections. Round 2 continues in Brooklyn tonight with the defending champion Knicks on the clock. Boy, that sure sounds good to say. The defending champion New York Knicks. What else do I need to mention here, Smitty? Geno Smith, Mets, Yankees.
Well, the Yankees won 4-3. Chad Chisholm.
I did say that.
Chad Chisholm Jr. had a great game after maybe he should have lollipops in his mouth more than the night before in the 5th inning on, I believe, Tuesday night. No, it was on Monday night. He got caught sucking on a lollipop during the game. Aaron Boone wasn't too happy about it.
Let's see. At the World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo scored twice. Portugal won 5-0 over Uzbekistan. England played to a scoreless draw against Ghana. Croatia eliminating Panama from the knockout round contention with a 1-0 victory in Toronto. And let's see. Colombia beat the Democratic Republic of Congo 1-0. Play continues with 6 matches today. Qatar plays Bosnia. Canada will take on Switzerland, Morocco, and Haiti. Brazil and Scotland. Mexico challenges Czechia, and South Korea goes up against South Africa. So, 6 more games today. And I believe the first game of the second round will come on Sunday. So, over the next couple days, they'll wrap up the group play. The United States plays tomorrow.
10 p.m.
against Turkey.
Okay, and you had a concern, not a concern necessarily, but curiosity as to why all the last-minute stuff by Constantino.
Yeah, he must have been concerned he wasn't going to win.
Well, I just think he worked every possible avenue to win, and I think they knew it was maybe going to be somewhat close, although it really wasn't. I think he worked I'm not surprised. And in a good campaign, you're working it you're working the phones, you're working whatever you can to get your vote out till the very final chance that you can get some. I mean, in a close race, it could be those final few calls that you make. Somebody comes out and votes, and that's everything.
Yeah, I get it. I just look.
I don't buy into he thought he was going to lose, and it was desperation. That whole thing yesterday when we were talking with Mark, I did not buy into that. I think they both should have been doing what Constantino was doing, but only Constantino was doing it. I think he worked people, and I think it may have he may have won anyway, but he won by a larger margin because of the work that he did.
Just to the point on donating his salary to an injured veteran or a disabled veteran, I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a wonderful thing. But to do it, to make the announcement or to share that publicly on the date of the election, several hours after it already started, if you're moved by that, and that is significant, how many other people who already voted could you have convinced?
I agree. Apparently, there was a press conference. I think Constantino is a whim type of guy, and he's got to be loaded, right? I mean, if you're able to give that donation, and he's a young guy, you're able to give that donation, whether you win or lose, whether you get the salary or not, then you've got disposable income.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's like $180,000.
I think so
per year.
Yeah.
So that's $360,000 he's going to be donating to a veteran.
Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful thing.
And I just think that could sway a vote or two. And it might be a situation where the person who was swayed already voted.
So
that's possible. Maybe it was, but I think it was very spontaneous because earlier he said he wasn't taking a salary. And then out of nowhere, this started coming out yesterday, and he was texting it out to everybody on his list. It's little things like that I do think make people get up and get out of their chair and go vote.
I've said, I think it's a wonderful gesture. I think it's a beautiful thing. Hats off to Anthony Constantino he says he's committed to making that donation to a veteran. I think it's a beautiful thing. Now, if I'm Blake Gendabine, from a political strategy standpoint, if this comes up during the campaign, I say, look, that's a great thing, and congratulations to Anthony Constantino for stepping up and doing that. But you don't need to support him. He's going to donate that to a veteran either way.
That's right. So, you don't have to worry about voting for him.
Don't think like you're taking
services
or food out of a veteran's mouth by not supporting him, because he says he's going to do it either way.
And Gendabine, the Democrat, has been very quiet. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. Also, in the campaign, and we probably will see that more in August and September than over the summer. But the other part of this that I think is interesting is, will Robert Smullen stay in the race? He is in the race. He is on the ballot in November on the conservative line. Will he actively campaign, or will he throw it to Constantino for the good of the party? I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either.
No.
It got very personal between them, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to happen. But I got this from Jim Zecca like 2 o'clock this morning.
So just so the other part of this is the if you're a Republican, you were also getting, I think this was another example of a last-minute push to get people out to vote. So the Republican Party in Oneida County is split. There's the Rozier camp, and there's everybody else, the Peceni side, and Griffo, the more established side of the party. And so you elect committee members, and what you want is to be able to have, right now, going into yesterday, Rozier had the majority of the committee members, so he can get anything, rules changed, anything he wants done, he can get done. And go ahead.
Well, this is actually on the Smullen Constantino race.
Okay.
Smullen now needs to drop off the conservative line for the 21st CD race. And then this is part of, I don't know, election law or party law. It doesn't say where it's quoted from. If a candidate was designated for both the Republican and conservative nominations for the same congressional office, but then loses the Republican primary, election law 6-146 allows the candidate to decline the conservative nomination within 10 days after the primary election.
The key there is allows.
Allows.
Yeah. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure that Smullen is going to. Up to this point, he's told us he will actively campaign.
Sure.
Now, I don't know that that's going to happen. So the other part of this, I heard from somebody this morning talking about how Smullen got into the dirt. He the way to beat Constantino would have been to rise above all of that. And it was almost like Constantino, in the latter half of his campaign, started to become more palatable, right? He wasn't fighting with everybody, although he did fight with Mark Butler yesterday. I thought that was kind of interesting. And then the issue yesterday for Republicans is they were going out and voting for committee members. I got a direct mail piece that was dropped off at my house maybe a week ago that gave me two candidates that were, quote, I'll call them Pecenti candidates to vote for in the primary. Yesterday, I got another knock on the door, and another one was given to me to remind me to get out. So they were doing very much the same thing, reminding people at the last minute to get out. While I'm told it is close, this is what I'm told. Rozier did win his committee seat yesterday.
He did. I do have that.
Oh, yeah, that I can tell you.
89 to 80. Well, it was vote for two, so yeah.
He did. He's on the committee, but he has lost his majority to Tony Peceni.
Interesting. I have some. Let's see. Rozier 89, Kristen Kearney 81, and it's vote for two. So those are
that's
two.
Not that isn't that's not a vote for chairmanship. That's a vote to be on the committee.
Yeah.
So and when you compile all the committee members,
right,
Peceni has a majority.
Interesting.
And that's what they were trying to get the party back from Ken Rozier. So while they can celebrate the fact that he's on the committee, I'm not sure there's anything else to celebrate today. And in fact, right now, Dan Fusco is trailing the Pecenti candidate, if you will, if we're picking sides here, Gentile. So obviously, absentee ballots have to be counted still, and military ballots that would come in by yesterday. But it will be interesting to see how that ends up. Right now, Gentile's in the lead.
Yeah, I agree. It will be interesting to see how that works out. I guess I don't know. I don't want to rehash this, but to be talking about another show. But I'm still appalled at what went out yesterday, and I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Unethical.
It's not the function of an objective media outlet to promote individual candidates. I'll say it again.
Stefan, you were at a whose watch party were you at yesterday?
I was at Joe Beatar's watch party at Tavolo in North Utica, and I went out and voted yesterday morning. I voted for Joe Beatar in the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
And now his opponent, who looked like won that race, John Leip, he has my vote in the fall, and Beatar is a very nice guy. So is his opponent, John Leip, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out of that against either Fusco or Gentile.
Yeah. That will be certainly very interesting, Stefan. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed the food.
Yes, I did, and that's Button Sean's seat for people that don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for that. All right, Stefan, you have a great day. Thank you, man. Quick break.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You do the same.
Wow, yeah, I just got a photo as well of the list of, you had the Rozier side, and I guess you'd call it the Vicente side or the establishment side, and the establishment side did well yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
Thank you, Dana. Appreciate
Mike,
that.
I think the way to take a little bit of wind out of the sail of Constantino in regards to this disabled veteran thing would be his opponent says Constantino, wants to help one person. His opponent would like to help the entire district. And the other part of this is, he did say a lot of bad things about Robert Smullen, who is a veteran and who did put his life on the line for this country. So maybe he walks that back after this is all said and done. Because ultimately, if you're Constantino, you want Robert Smullen to drop out, as Jim Zek has said. Quick break. Coming up, we'll talk about Supreme Court decisions that just came down. Jeremy Rosenthal and the Rosenthal Report is coming up at WIBX.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Registration is officially open for the 2026 Boilermaker Road Race. Get ready for the 49th annual running of this iconic event, Sunday, July 12th. Whether you're chasing a personal best or just soaking up the incredible energy, this is a race day event you don't want to miss. Secure your spot now and be a part of one of the most celebrated road races in the country. Sign up today and get your training underway. Be sure to listen to live coverage of the Boilermaker Road Race Sunday morning, July 12th, beginning at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we're talking a lot of politics here. Some quick comments.
Yes.
Okay, what do you have?
All right, so Joey Potts. Jeff, you're 100% correct. What Ken did this year is filthy. He wants to be a dictator. The FCC should pull his license. I'm just reading comments here. Deeds. I just feel like when you have a crony like Butler, who is always defending your mishaps, it doesn't translate well to the public. He followed up to say, I don't have anything against Butler. I'm just making a general observation.
Well, let me say this about Mark Butler. Robert Smullen carried Herkimer County. He won in Herkimer County. And that's where Butler is. So, apparently, he didn't hurt him. That's for darn sure.
Well, you know, we have a big, in Herkimer County as well, but a Utica area audience.
I understand that, but
you know what? Utica's not part of that
Utica's
district.
Utica's only a little piece of that district in Oneida County.
Yeah.
And, but not the congressional. Remember, this is congressional. So that's Rome. His assembly district is a little piece of that. But Rome and then Barneveld, all those areas are all part of the congressional district. But in Herkimer County, Smullen won.
Joey Potts says the biggest surprise was LIPE. It showed the old-fashioned door knocking is still what works. Bitar even lost at least 5 districts in his own council ward with Arcuri, Julian, Heather, and others.
Yeah.
That's
and
interesting.
I did full disclosure. I did commercials on that, but you can't in a primary, especially, and even in a general, in an election, you cannot rely just on media. It is old fashioned. Get your vote out. Knock on doors.
Yeah.
Shake as many hands as you can shake. In fact, if I were to have given advice to Bitar, maybe I did. It was, shake as many hands between now and Tuesday as you can. And that is, that's the tough part of the job.
I want to say good morning to Ann. Ann has mentioned here that she's got some chemo to undergo this morning, so we wish you the best with that, Ann. We love you. We hope you're okay. And let's see. Well, some other general comments, and I'll get into the messages. We're hearing from Lance as well. I'll get Lance and John in Deerfield. I'll get to those coming up later.
It is time now, ladies and gentlemen, for the Rosenthal Report. I think I just shot myself in the foot. Good morning, Jeremy Rosenthal. Good morning.
You okay?
I'm all right. That was a big gun, though, wasn't it? It might have been a cannon. Might have been a
right.
cannon.
Yeah. So we'll take this one step at a time.
Yeah. If I bleed out, I'll just kind of drift off into
If Bill bleeds out, you'll be a recurring guest on Manaski in the morning. So
That's
don't worry about it.
Manaski in the morning. All right. There are some really big cases from the Supreme Court that are about to be announced. What can you fill us in on, and what are your thoughts? I mean, whenever the Supreme Court argues or these cases are argued before the Supreme Court, all the pundits come out and say, well, based on the questions the Supreme Court members the justices were asking, we feel they're going to go this way. Do you have any indication on any of these, I guess, too?
Yeah, you can always sort of lean on several factors. There's, judicial philosophies, and, people like me, we sit back and, I just kind of think at night, what would Amy Coney Barrett think of this, right. and then I think about her dissent in the case, from, the FTC case from 2023. And I just, like footnote 17, it just keeps me up at night. There's actually people who are into it that granularly. Not I. I'm watching the World Cup, but yeah. So the big one today, or probably in all likelihood tomorrow, is going to be birthright citizenship.
Yeah.
That's where the president issued an executive order on day one, where he said basically, if you were born in the United States, but your parents were not citizens, you are not a U.S. citizen, and that's a really, really hard argument to make, and we're going to find out tomorrow.
Well, because it's constitutional, isn't it?
So the 14th Amendment says that if you were born in the United States, and so both have to be true, and you are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, then you're a citizen. And there was a case in the 1880s that basically said, look, that means if you were born here.
Yeah.
And subject to the jurisdiction means physical subject to the jurisdiction, meaning that if you're born on American soil and we can prosecute you, we can do this to you, we can do that to you, then you're subject to our jurisdiction. And certainly on one end, if we could deport you, then you're subject, I guess, in a way, to our jurisdiction. The administration is saying that they're defining it as political allegiance. That, well, if your parents were not subject to the jurisdiction, in a political sense, citizens of, then you can't be. And there's a lot of countries that do it that way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of citizenship by bloodline. It would be administratively a headache. And the Supreme Court, I don't think the Supreme Court's going to go here, just because when you're the Supreme Court, the one thing that you want to be done is taken seriously and listened to.
Yeah.
And I just think it creates too much of a headache, too much of a nightmare. They're going to say, if you want this to be the law of the land, you're just going to have to amend the Constitution.
It's people will go back and say, well, especially those who are choice when it comes to abortion. Well, look at what the Supreme Court did, and they took away that guaranteed right to an abortion in the United States. But really, that was based on all of these things always seem to come down, they do come down to these justices and their interpretation of the Constitution and the law.
Of course, yeah. Roe versus Wade, look, and I'm not gonna, I've got opinions, but I'm not going to take sides here. Roe versus Wade was a very expansive opinion, and it read a lot into the law. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad. I think there's arguments both ways. But, so you've got the people who on one end think that the Constitution is a living, breathing document. And then on the other end, you have the people who think that we have to go by the original interpretation of it. Now, the trick is that the original interpretation, okay, great. Who gets to decide that?
Yeah.
Right. And which quotes am I going to take that support my position? So it's every bit as janky, if you will, as the ones who think it's a living, breathing document. and at some point you do have to treat it like the traffic code. If it says that if you were born here and subject to the jurisdiction of it, what does that mean? And just how creative can you get to get around that? And if you're gonna create such a massive upheaval based on such finite and creative language, that's where the Supreme Court's like, we'll pass.
And that would be the difference, because if you go only by the letter of the law, if you go by the interpretation, the original interpretation of the Constitution, women wouldn't be voting today, right?
Keep going. Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying, and others, other people would not be eligible to vote as well. Slavery. There were so many different things that we grew past. But for years, foes of abortion had said that it was constitutionally a reach. And that is different than, I would think, than birthright citizenship.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but I'm going to confuse everybody. It's the same thing, but it's the polar opposite, right?
Yeah.
It would be on one end just sort of the max of living, breathing document. On the other end, you're talking about the text and what the folks meant when they drafted it. The biggest problem. I mean, there's a lot of problems that the administration has here with this. Not the least of which is when you're going to go back and say, well, this is what they really meant in the 1800s, and then there's an opinion from the 1800s that says you're wrong.
Right.
I mean, you just, and it's a hard one. And not only that, don't put it past the Supreme Court to completely sidestep it and say, well, we don't think that we're not going to decide on birthright citizenship. We just don't think an executive order could do it either way. They could say some weird thing like that.
Yeah. Any other big cases?
Why, yes, there are. There's a couple more. You've got, can Trump fire administrative agency heads, which, those, we've had a lot of temporary injunctions and restraining orders on the Fed chairs and things like that. So you've got that thing coming up. I suspect Trump actually may get his way on that. So that's another big one. And then you've got another one on what's called TPS, temporary protected status. That's people who come here illegally, but then if they ever got sent home would be put in a little hut or a mud hut or executed or something. And so we don't, that's a temporary protected status. They're in permanent legal limbo. And so we'll see about it. And there's a lot of folks who are actually in that category, which is there's about 600,000 people who probably are hitting reload on their computer every minute on that one.
Wow. All right, a lot of interesting stuff. And you're thinking sometime between now and the end of the week, maybe more so tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they're going to issue a handful of things tomorrow. They like to keep us in suspense. They're like Netflix. They want to be like, oh, we're going to release, or Taylor Swift, we're going to release this at midnight, or no, we're not. So yeah, it's going to be like
that. Interesting stuff. As always, we appreciate it. Jeremy Rosenthal, you have a great rest of the week, and we'll do this again. Thank you.
Duck.
All right. Put ice on that toe.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, boy, what a shot that was. All right, thank you. Jeremy Rosenthal with the Rosenthal Report. One of the things, I go to Clinton Dental, and a while back I somehow bit on something and I cracked a tooth.
Ow.
So the thought was the best way to handle this, it was a molar, the best way to handle it is with a cap. And I was at Clinton Dental yesterday, Dr. Menard, Dr. Tarduno. I hope I say his name correctly, but he's the new dentist that is there. All good people, great people in the office. They're wonderful. Now, I just have to tell you, I've had a cap. I had an implant.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 10 years ago, I'd have an implant put in.
Didn't know that.
And it was a molar that it cracked, and they had to remove the tooth, so they put an implant in. And in order to have the tooth, they put this gel in your mouth, and you had to bite down, and it went on. It seemed to go on forever as the gel kind of hardens and it forms, and then they pull it out and they send it off, and they create this tooth that would fit exactly where the hole is.
Okay.
All right. So now, though, it's unbelievable. He has like a little camera that he puts in your mouth, and he moves it all around, and you can hear it kind of scanning. And in real time, it's scanning and probably using AI, scanning on a screen. I was able to look back and actually see it, and it's scanning everything in that area in your mouth, and it literally creates the perfect, absolute perfect tooth to fit in that area. It's unbelievable.
That is wild.
No gel, just the wand, that camera thing. And then he was mixing up this other stuff, and he said, I'm putting a mold in, and I think I'm getting this right, and I'm going to put this liquid in, which smelled and tasted not too great, but it was, he said, and I'm going to put it in, and then I had to wait, I think, for like 4 or 5 minutes, something like that, and it hardened. And it is the cap, the temporary cap that I have in that spot right now. And it just hardened. And he brought it out and he filed it down a little bit, but put it back in, glued it in temporarily, and I'll go back in 2 weeks and get the permanent cap put on. But again, back to technology, medical technology. It's crazy.
It really is. Yeah, I see that as the bright side of technology.
That's the bright side. That's actually what we were talking about. AI, there's a lot of bad stuff to talk about, a lot of scary stuff out there. Here in medicine is one of the great ways that it is just advancing. And you know what? Probably this is just the beginning. So a shout out to the people at Clinton Dental. Mike, this is interesting, losing his majority. I wonder if Ken Rozier steps down. The puppeteer lost his puppets.
Well, you know what? I think Lance brings up a fair point here. Can I get to a couple of these comments?
Yeah.
Lance is,
and then we'll break.
Rattling them off pretty quick. Okay, so Smullen had way too many questionable things. Seemed an easy target. Constantino won't be as aggressive with Gendabine.
Constantino was a given. He was a given with the bad stuff. Whereas Smullen came in as the honorable one, the veteran, the colonel in the military and the Marines, and then flaws were kept being exposed, and I just think he did a bad job reacting to them.
He says Constantino won't be as aggressive with Gendabine, not as much dirty laundry as Smullen. That's Lance commenting. Spectrum News spoke with Smullen last night, said he has to reevaluate his path forward. Lance says he will drop out.
I think he will too.
Fusco will stay on the ballot, though, he says, if he loses, because he's got the conservative.
Well, so does Smullen have the conservative line.
Well, he's saying he thinks Smullen will stay out, but Fusco will stay in.
Fusco will stay in?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that'll put Leip in, most likely.
One more point. The chairmanship vote is a weighted vote, I believe. His goose is not cooked yet. Here in Rome, Leip knocked on my door. Bitar was a no-show. I have a comment here from Bill Morehouse.
That knocking on the door thing is a big, big deal.
Bill Morehouse, hey, giving up on a $180,000 salary to be able to be an inside trader is a good deal. And from Rome, just sent a message to Bill. Please ask him to read it. And then I have one more comment here. This is from John in Deerfield. And John, I glanced at your comment, and I think I agree.
Oh, she sent a message to me directly? Okay,
yes, I believe it was to you directly. Okay, John in Deerfield. With the left and right as divided as they appear to be, and elected officials seeming to move farther and farther away from the center, how much of this can be attributed to the vast number of independent voters who cannot participate in primaries? It seems like Democrats and Republicans affiliated with the party are more likely to select more, quote, radical candidates than the center-focused independent voters would like to see. And maybe that's a comment on the New York City races?
Well, I think that's a comment on the assembly race. I think it's a comment on the congressional race as well. There's a lot to think about there. And you can imagine that it's going to be very interesting in the general. I will tell you that congressional race in the 21st has a lot of independents. It leans Republican, but it has a lot of independents. Something to consider. And then Ann says, Rome won big. Rozier's appointed chairman lost. If Fusco loses, will Zecca tell him to get out? And your answer to that right now is apparently no.
Well, that's
And
what
I'm
Lance
saying,
Lance said. He didn't think Fusco was going to get out.
He didn't.
That was Lance's opinion.
I think he'll get out. They can't raise any money. Once they lose as a conservative candidate, they'll struggle getting any money to move forward. And they won't have the team to be able to do the match. And I'm not even sure they can do that. So I think Smullen gets out, and if Fusco loses, right now he's behind, I think he would get out too. Just my personal opinion. All right, quick break. Davey, Hobica's free money question of the day. It is worth, this morning on this Wednesday, a post-election
$200.
$200. Okay. For $200, we'll take caller number 10.
Okay.
All right. Caller 10 right now. 315-736-0186. 315-736-0186 from Hobica. It's the free money question, and it's next on WIBX.
At Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, we are dedicated to helping you understand your benefits and how to use them. It's one of the reasons why, for the third straight year, we have been named #1 in customer satisfaction among Medicare Advantage plans in New York and #1 for ease of doing business by J.D. Power. We were named most trusted, too. We remain committed to giving you high-quality coverage and the best possible Medicare experience. Learn more at medicare.excellusbcbs.com. For J.D. Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Finally started clear on out and a good-looking morning. Comfortable, too. Mostly sunny this afternoon, and I like that word comfortable, so I'll go with that. A comfortable 80. Tonight, some clouds, mid-50s, North Country again cooler, and we change it up tomorrow. A few showers around, an afternoon thunderstorm 80, and a chance of showers, but only early Friday. Should be dry most of the day, but cloudy 80. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Utica in the Mohawk Valley, upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express's 4th of July sale is on. Remember, no one in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we have, and right now, save up to $1,350 and take 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers on names like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. Remember, every day we have no credit check payment plans as well. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. In Oneida in the Glenwood Plaza where the movie theaters are. In Rome on Black River Boulevard next to Ollie's. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. Go to MattressExpressNY.com. And remember, their sale is our sale. Bring in any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. We want to earn your business. Come see us at Mattress Express.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. Like that morning status meeting. Always better with bagels. And don't forget the coffee. Ops team working late? How about some power bowls to keep them going strong? Sandy's celebrating 10 years at the company. This calls for cupcakes. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Hey man, thanks for coming so fast. I couldn't get anyone else to pick up.
Yeah, it's been a busy week.
I'm not complaining, though. Business is way up lately.
Wow, good for you. I've been trying to grow my accounting practice, but it's been pretty slow.
Yeah, I was in the same boat last year. What really helped me was checking out this site, mylocalcustomers.com.
Never heard of it.
Well, most people haven't. It gives you a look at how many people in town are searching for what you do, and it also provides a plan to help them actually find you.
Like online?
Exactly. It's eye-opening, and it only takes a couple minutes to get started.
Huh, well, you fixed my sink. Maybe you just fixed my business, too.
Want to know how many people in your area are searching for your type of business? Start with a local customer analysis at mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. Go to mylocalcustomers.com today.
That's mylocalcustomers.com. mylocalcustomers.com.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, time to do Habaika's free money question of the day. This is the day after primary day, and a lot to talk about from yesterday. Wow, was yesterday heated on the program? It was.
I thought it was good, though.
It was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Okay, let's go to Dwayne in Ilion. Hello, Dwayne. Good morning.
Hello, Bill. How are you?
Good. Are you ready to go here? This is worth $200 this morning, and you'll have 7 seconds to answer the question. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. This comes from the Habaika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Habaika, at 315-724-1600. And here now is your question. This is a doable one. Which U.S. state has the longest overall coastline? Ready, go.
Hawaii.
Is it Hawaii? You know, a lot of people would immediately say California. But Jim Bono wants to pipe in and throw his answer in. It is
Alaska.
It is Alaska.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Florida because it goes all the way down and comes right back up.
It is Alaska. In fact, Alaska has more coastline than all 49 states combined. Take a look at a map.
Wow. I'll take geography for 200, Bill.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex. All right. Well, listen, Dwayne, we have a retro T-shirt, if we still have them left, that Davey's going to give to you, and I'm going to put you on hold, and it's a cool shirt, so stand by, okay?
So,
okay.
All right, Dwayne. Thank you, man.
Quick, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Quick question on the coastline. That's not beachfront coastline, is it?
Well, no.
Okay.
No, it's coastline.
Yeah, okay.
So,
it's very cold there, right?
Well, remember to the north of Alaska. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of water.
It's all ice.
Yeah.
Ice coastline.
Yeah, that's beach. If you're a seal, I think I could be wrong.
Yeah. No sun umbrellas and beach towels.
Yeah. A lot of darkness too. A lot of darkness during times of year. Certain times of year. In studio right now is Jim Bono, chairman of the Herkimer County Fire in the Sky, and it is the celebration of 250 years. It's the 4th of July celebration.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. And what's with the kayaks in the hallway over there? Did you have a little flood?
Are there? Oh, God, I'm telling you.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Bad one.
Can you believe I mean, these fans have been running all week long.
Yeah.
And they're a little loud.
Yeah. You took streaming literally here.
Unbelievable. No doubt.
But you think Butler's the only one who could sling jokes? But anyways, let's move on.
If you ask him, well, I will ask you your thoughts on the race. I want to ask about this.
Some surprises on my end, but hey, listen. At the end of the day, we all have to work together, and whoever's in those seats, hopefully they're there for the betterment of the.
Some believe that Constantino's victory is a victory for Gendabine, who also won, the Democrat, who's the farmer. So
you don't know.
You don't
till
know
that day, and
and a lot can go on between now and then.
Absolutely,
it's going to be certainly very interesting. Although Herkimer County did vote and carry Smullen. Smullen won in Herkimer County.
I think the numbers were low, though. You know, it's sad that the people didn't really come out. I thought it would be a little.
Listen, the numbers in that race were high compared to other races, which were
but still.
You look at. I was just looking at the congressional or the assembly race in Oneida County, and that's Betar versus Leip and Gentile versus Fusco. The Republicans got more votes in that race than the Democrats, and that's a district that was redistricted to kind of favor Marianne Buttonshaw, the Democrat. So
it's been a Democrat district for like 40 years.
I find it very interesting that the Democratic turnout was so low, and that really was a progressive versus a more traditional Democrat race. So it's going to be
people
very
have to realize these are where the races are won, right here
primaries.
At the primaries, but they don't.
Yeah, and listen, I'm a firm believer you need good, strong television commercials and radio commercials during a primary also, but you need a ground game. And
it's that personal touch. I keep telling people you have to shake hands and you have to be at events and face to face. That means a lot with people. I not to belabor this, but when I ran, I used to have a few people who would tell me I could be the only person on the ballot. They said, "I will not vote for you unless you come to my house and say hello and shake my hand."
And it does make a difference.
It does.
They say in a lot of things, like if you're a car salesman. If you actually get in the door and shake the hand of the car salesman or shake the hand of the customer, your chances of being able to sell a car that day increase like 70%. Politics is no different.
No.
Okay. All right. So 4th of July, it's actually the 1st though, right?
Yeah, we're doing like every community in the area, the 250th anniversary of this great country. It also is the 60th anniversary of Herkimer County Community College.
It is. 60, which would be
65, I think we started. And it actually started in the old Duofold building in Ilion. That's where it first started.
Yeah.
So anyway, July 1st, the reason why we're doing it July 1st is, 4th of July falls on a weekend, on a Saturday. A lot of people go away and go to camps and everything. So we wanted to do something during the week. It's going to be a 20-minute display, which is a long display.
Yeah.
It'll be right up on the hill at our new college outdoor well, not new, but it'll be at the stadium. But people will be able to go up there and see the $25 million investment that the county and the state have made in Herkimer Community College, with some new ball fields, new parking lots, and and things. So they get a chance to go up there and view that. So it starts unofficially at 4:30. We've been advertising 5 o'clock, but 4:30 the food trucks will be up and going. Kicks off with Gridley Page, AM Gold, Yacht Rock Experience.
Stuff.
So they're a great band, local band to kick off, and they'll play till about 7 o'clock. From 7 o'clock, the program starts. We will have some reenactment. The 250th Commission, which is a regional historic group, will do a reenactment of the Revolutionary War. Have some muskets and a cannon firing, I believe. So we'll do a little recognition there. The Herkimer American Legion Color Guard comes out and plays taps. We also have the Central Valley Academy, ROTC, and they will present colors, and then we'll kick it off with the national anthem with the Syracuse Symphony Orchestra, which is a great.
We actually have them coming in. They're going to be at various locations. I think coming up in Rome also,
right?
As well,
60 or 70 member orchestra. They'll come out full
something special.
Yeah, and they'll play for about an hour and a half, and then we get into the fireworks display, which
you can sponsor, by the way. You could be a sparkler sponsor for $100, all the way up to a $5,000 sponsor for the grand finale. My question is, are you keeping the fireworks in county? Because in Herkimer County, there is a fireworks company.
We do have one, but I believe it's a.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry. I shouldn't ask questions I don't know the answer to. But, well, whatever. It's going to be really good.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they've done fireworks for us before. So,
all right.
So that's the program, and the orchestra. I should say that the orchestra was paid for by the Robert H. Wood Trust, which the College Foundation, and we're sponsoring this with we have many sponsors. Herkimer County Legislature is a huge sponsor here. A lot of partnerships. The College Foundation, the Herkimer College Foundation is one. And
you keep going off mic when you look
I'm
down.
sorry.
So if you pick the paper up, that'll solve that
okay,
problem.
I'll just
almost out of time, but I
Chamber of Commerce
want to ask:
also.
do you want to hang to the other side and we could talk about some other things going on, like maybe get into some data center stuff?
Why would you have me talk about
Well,
that? Pizik is the guy.
It's your call.
No, we'll save that for another day.
Okay, all right. He's punting. I don't blame you. I got a break though. Thank you.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica.
From the WB Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
America the Beautiful will never be a communist country. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump posted that early this morning after 3 socialists won Democratic primaries for Congress in New York City, all backed by Mayor Zoran Mamdani, who says his win last year
was not the end of a political movement. It was the beginning.
They're pushing to abolish ICE and overhaul the Democratic Party. And one of those shocking wins to some people would have been Darlisa Chevalier. She beat out a 5-term Democratic incumbent, Adriano Espaillat. He was actually the first illegal migrant to be a member of Congress, later getting his green card and being able to be here in the United States.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. Another winner, Brad Lander, ousts another Democratic Congressman, Dan Goldman. The Senate has joined the House approving a war powers resolution attempting to limit President Trump's actions in Iran. Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer says
this war is disgusting and we hate it and it should be ended immediately.
But in a Truth Social post, the president called it meaningless, and 4 Republicans who voted for it losers, something he'll get a chance to talk to them about at a GOP Senate lunch today.
Although the White House says the war powers resolution that was approved by Congress holds no significance, it will be the first time that he faces some members of Congress after they voted to withdraw U.S. forces from the region. The president is also dismissing Iran's denial that they've agreed to nuclear inspections, saying they're wrong and they know they're wrong, and inspectors will be deployed at the appropriate time.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. The head of the UN's atomic watchdog said today the U.S. is right. The agreement does call for nuclear inspections, but an Iranian diplomat just responded saying that's only after a final deal is reached as nuclear talks continue. The president also just posted the Strait of Hormuz is open for oil and other shipping, Iran not charging ships. And now another potential problem. The Israeli defense minister said they won't get out of Lebanon even if the U.S. demands it. They lost another attack on Hezbollah. America's listening to Fox News.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Well, after President Trump's lunch with Senate Republicans, where he'll push them to again pass the Save America Act, which would have new voting restrictions like proof of citizenship and voter ID. He'll meet with NATO's leader, Mark Rutte, and then tonight the president will hold a big rally on the National Mall to kick off the Great American State Fair. The day after, he took a trip.
President Trump traveled to Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley and a Mack Trucks factory to make his case for tariffs.
How don't you pay a tariff? You build your factory here and you hire American workers. It's quite simple, actually.
The president says tariffs on vehicles, including heavy-duty trucks like the ones made by Mack, will mean more of those trucks manufactured in the U.S.
All American roads will be filled with American trucks very shortly. Very few people are able to compete with us anymore.
President Trump is trying to reverse polling that shows a majority of voters disapprove of his handling of the economy and tariff policies. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Now, a court ruling President Trump won't like banning ICE agents from making arrests inside immigration courts.
The arrest started after President Trump's return to office last year. People accused by the administration of being in the country illegally taken
taken into custody when they showed up for scheduled immigration hearings. U.S. District Judge Casey Pitts in San Francisco is blocking the arrests nationwide, calling them an irrational departure from previous policy, limiting them to suspects threatening national security or the destruction of evidence. He's also overturning policy, allowing detainees to be held in short-term holding rooms for days sometimes instead of the traditional 12-hour limit. The Department of Homeland Security's top attorney calls the order judicial activism. Chris Foster, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the morning after a sell-off dragged the Dow down big 579 points. The NBA draft resumes tonight, round 2. The first pick last night on ESPN.
The Washington Wizards select Anise DeBansa Jr. from Brigham Young University.
I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Sunshine, we're up to 60 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. News time is 8:05. This news update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. Results are in, and the two remaining candidates in the 21st Congressional District race after primaries are Democrat Blake Gendabine, who cruised to a victory over Stuart Amoriel in yesterday's primary. On the Republican side, Sticker Mule CEO Anthony Constantino was declared the victor after his opponent, Assemblyman Robert Smullen, decided to concede the GOP nomination. Whoever wins in November replaces Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who is not seeking re-election. The remaining question is whether Smullen will remain in the race and campaign as the Conservative Party candidate.
We're both in agreement, I think, that we think he'll probably bow out. Are we?
Lance's, I didn't catch that interview where he said he needs to reassess his path forward. That makes me think he is considering it.
Yeah.
But again, what I've seen over the years is when it gets nasty and personal, you don't want to give that person any benefit, any option. You want to say, you were nasty to me, well, I'm not going to help you. We'll see what happens.
He may feel that the Democrat would be a better candidate to win the seat, and staying in could make that happen. I don't know. We'll speak with Robert Smullen at some point. And then the other thing we've not talked about at all is, what do you think? What kind of effect and impact do you think Donald Trump had on the Smullen-Constantino race?
Oh, I think it was huge.
I do too.
I do think it was very big.
That endorsement was everything. Changed everything.
In the 119th Assembly District, still too close to call on the Republican side. Mike Gentile with an advantage over Dan Fusco. On the Democratic side, it was John Leip defeating Joe Bitar in that race there. Bill, a story I'll get to that in a second. New York Mills Police and State Police investigating what they are calling a suspicious death on New Hartford Street in New York Mills. Authorities responding to a welfare check just before 11 o'clock yesterday morning. New York Mills Police Chief Robert Franklin telling News Channel 2 that a female was discovered deceased. Police calling her a victim and say that she had been there in the home for an extended period of time. Chief also saying there is no threat to the public. A story we talked about a couple times earlier this week. The vice president of the Cazenovia School Board is now stepping down after his arrest. Travis Longo resigned from his position after the board started the process to remove him for official misconduct. Authorities claim the 46-year-old Longo was exchanging sexually explicit messages with a child, and a search of his cell phone led to the discovery of disturbing sexual abuse videos. Longo will remain behind bars, pending a trial on federal charges. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:08. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
Finally started clear on out, and a good-looking morning. Comfortable, too. Mostly sunny this afternoon, and I like that word comfortable, so I'll go with that. A comfortable 80. Tonight, some clouds, mid-50s, North Country again cooler, and we change it up tomorrow. A few showers around, an afternoon thunderstorm 80, and a chance of showers, but only early Friday. Should be dry most of the day, but cloudy 80. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM at 92.3 FM.
Right now, sunshine, 60 degrees at 8:09. Somebody just texted me, and I should clarify my comments. How big was Trump's endorsement? It was big. Very big.
Some say maybe the biggest ever.
Was a game changer. All right, Mets losing last night to the Cubs at Citi Field. The final 9-6. Kodai Senga takes the loss. The Yankees beat the Tigers in Detroit, a final of 4-3. Jazz Chisholm led the way at the plate, 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer. The Yankees had dropped 3 straight. They close out their 3-game series tonight. The Mets, meanwhile, look to end their losing streak. They have a doubleheader against the Cubbies today, 1-10 and 7-10. Jets quarterback Geno Smith facing some off-the-field issues. Police in Florida saying that the quarterback is being investigated for an incident in which allegedly occurred over the weekend, a woman accusing him of battery. Officers were summoned to Smith's home on Sunday after the woman claimed that she was assaulted by Geno Smith. Since the investigation is active, no additional information is being released at this time. NBA draft last night. The Wizards taking A.J. DeBonza with the first overall pick. He's the only player in BYU history to go number 1 overall. The Jazz nabbed Kansas backcourt stud Darren Peterson with the second pick, and the Grizzlies took Duke paint patroller Cameron Boozer 3rd overall. Round 2 continues from Brooklyn today with the defending champion Knicks on the clock. And then World Cup action. Ronaldo scored 2 goals, leading Portugal to a 5-0 win over Uzbekistan. England played to a scoreless draw against Ghana. Croatia eliminating Panama from knockout round contention with a 1-0 victory in Toronto. And then Colombia took down the Democratic Republic of Congo 1-0. 6 games on tap today. Qatar and Bosnia, Canada, Switzerland, Morocco, Haiti, Brazil, Scotland, Mexico will challenge Czechia, and South Korea goes up against South Africa.
I want to bring in, you good?
Yes.
Bring in James Genovese from Oneida County. Let's take him, though, as a political strategist, if you will, who can explain the committee situation in Oneida County. James, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. How does it all... So this morning we said that Pacenti has won back the majority of the Republican committee. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I think that it probably mischaracterizes a little bit about what the sides are here. But having said that, yes,
Okay.
that is a simple way to put it. Yep.
All right. But there are weighted votes. Things are a little complicated, and we thought you could explain it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you look and you see these elections for committee and you say, okay, this person runs against this person and then they win and that's a vote. But that's not how it works. Every committee seat has a weighted vote attached to it. And then there is a total number of votes. So in this particular case, based on the races and based on the seats that were empty, so those ones are kind of dead seats that don't count, a majority would have been roughly about 38,000 weighted votes. So going in, if you're looking at the two sides, if you want to call it this, the Pacenti side had 29,000 votes. The other side had 22,000 votes. Now, they may say we had more. We might say we had more, but that's the best count that you can do.
Okay.
And after the totals last night, the good guys picked up 9,000 votes. And that means that we have over the 38,000, which is a majority. So there's really no wiggle room there. There are some votes that can still be received and got from other places, and we have to wait and see kind of how the chairman's race unfolds. But the reality is 38,600 was the magic number, and we got it.
I don't want to put anything into the mind of a dictator, because that's kind of the style in which it's run. The Republican Party.
And that went over really well last night for him.
Yeah.
Being sarcastic.
Well, what I want to say though is the rules have changed, and what Ken Rozier says goes. If the rules before the rules change, what if he just changes the rules to change the advantage that you have?
Well, look, he's tried that already with a kind of ridiculous change in bylaws that just make no sense. But the reality is an organizational meeting is voted on by the elected members. So there's really not a lot of wiggle room there. Is it something that can be manipulated or changed? I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But in a fair, this is the way it's done by law and by bylaws and by state law, then the people that were elected are the people that vote for a reorganization. So having said that, again, pretty simple math, right? We and I say we, I ran, I won. We're have the majority outright. So that still means you still got to have a chairman's race. You still got to have a reorganizational meeting. You still got to do all those things. You still have to get your votes and get in the room and, do all the electioneering that has to be done for that. But the reality is that 38,600 is the magic number, and we went over it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just wondering if we're splitting this into two sides. If there is another side that takes over that takes over the chairmanship there, I call it my office. It's in the back corner of my house. $500 a month. You guys can store whatever you want in there. If you need to relocate it, I just want to put my property up as a possible location for the office.
New York Mills will be a good spot
Side
for the
income.
party.
Yeah. Centrally located by Commercial Drive.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
See, this is why they say that you do softballs. Here's the reality, right, is that those types of things, like renting an office to yourself or those types of things, are the things that voters didn't care for yesterday. I mean, that's the reality. So, I mean, look, I think ultimately there will be, the chairman's race will shake out and we'll see how that goes. But it all comes down to what people don't understand a lot of times, and I think what needs to be explained is this kind of weighted vote process, right? Because it's easy to think for the record, though, if it was just vote for vote, we would have won that too.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, but at the same time, that is part of it.
Don't you think the race, the Republican race for the assembly seat, was indicative of really what was going on? Because
that's still undecided, though.
It is undecided, which means it's close.
Oh, right. I got you.
See what I mean?
I don't think that it is undecided because the way I understand it, and I suppose I could be incorrect, but the way I understand it is most of those absentees were already counted. It's not like it used to be where they had to wait 7 days. So unless there's going to be, I don't know, I can't remember what the spread was. I think it was 52-48, something like that.
Yeah. It's like 1,000 votes.
100
close.
votes.
Or 100 votes. I'm sorry, 100 votes.
There has to be 100. There has to be more than 100 absentees, and they all have to break for Fusco.
Right.
So the reality is, he lost, and Mike won. Pretty simple.
And what I'm saying though is, Gentile is on one side of this battle for the Republican Party, and Fusco is on the other. Fusco is on the Rogers side, and Gentile looks to have won the race. So as of right now. All right, interesting stuff.
No doubt about it.
All right.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
James, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Thank you. Yep.
Davey, let everybody know. Alex, I'll get to them in a second. I want to bring in we do not make Tanya wait. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio on the line right now. I want to do a follow-up on what came out of the primaries outside our area because it was a pretty big election day yesterday. Tanya, good morning.
It was. The kind of top line result is that all three of the congressional candidates backed by New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani won their primaries yesterday. It has been perhaps most expensive congressional cycle in New York history, according to some of the reporting I've seen. More than $50 million was being poured into super PACs. I can tell you the people I have spoken to that live here in the city. The ads that we have seen, there was an enormous amount spent on ads, flyers, and people told me they got text constantly. There was a lot of reaching out in this one to be clear. All three of those candidates, like I said, backed by Mayor Mamdani, have won. Two of those are Democratic Socialist candidates. One is a Democrat. Brad Lander is a Democrat. He is the one who challenged sitting Representative Dan Goldman from the left and beat him. Congressman Adriano Espaillat. He is the one who leads the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. He's in his 5th term. He was defeated by probably what was the most polarizing choice by Mamdani to back the Democratic Socialist Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, who at one point helped organize pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University. She has not held political office, cast herself as an outsider. And then in the other race where you had a Mamdani-backed candidate, you had Claire Valdez, who was a Democratic Socialist state assembly member. She defeated the, hand-picked person to succeed, retiring Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez. So that is, that's kind of how those 3 races shook out.
All right. Very interesting. And and listen, this is all something people are looking at when we think about the upcoming midterms.
Yes, because, this was seen as not just a test of Mamdani's, political strength. Would his endorsement mean anything? That kind of stuff. But it's also, creates a lot of questions about, okay, where's the Democratic Party going? Is it going more toward the left? Is it, that kind of stuff? How are the establishment Democrats, doing with this? Because some of these were backed by, establishment Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries. So, yeah, it sets up a very interesting, but it mirrors what's happening and what's been happening in the Republican Party, to be clear. That's,
it does. And I think what's interesting is you take a look at like the 21st Congressional District up here. You have a Democrat who has won. He's a farmer. He's very moderate. I got to tell you, if you had a conversation with him, you might say he's a moderate Republican. That district, that fits in that district. Whereas you get into... Go ahead.
Is that the Constantino race?
Yes.
Yes. Now, Constantino's on the Republican side, of course, and there he knocks off a Marine veteran who was in the Assembly who looked to be somebody that was going to win quite easily, and then all of a sudden Trump comes in with an endorsement of Constantino. So we've had heat up here, Tanya. It's been crazy.
Yeah. For sure. It's going to be interesting to see. I think, there are a couple of things at play in these races. The Democrats, who are, it's voters in general who seem kind of, I won't say fed up with, but ready to give someone a chance who is maybe a younger candidate. We've seen a big push, especially with the Democrats, on that, for them to, like, older incumbents to retire or, stuff like that. That and the other thing that's getting overlooked, I think, in a lot of this is the support of Israel with some of these candidates, especially some of the ones who lost. That I think that is going to be a bigger deal than people may realize, especially heading into the midterms.
Okay, very interesting. Out of all of this, Tanya, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Have a great day. I want to keep this going a little bit and bring in, he is the Republican chair in the town of Lee, Doug Singleton, calling in here this morning. Doug, good morning. What's your take on the last 24 hours?
Good morning, Bill. Very interesting. Our town here unanimously supported Smullen, but, looking at, I kind of agree with you. Trump's endorsement, Constantino's ground game was phenomenal.
It was,
We were up here in the backwoods up in Ava knocking on doors, and there were Constantino's people. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
And places you couldn't imagine. And
the electronic communication as well. I think I might have had 8 text messages from Constantino yesterday. I mean, it was crazy.
Likewise.
Yeah.
And it all boils down, as you know, Bill, money. It's all about money. If you got money, you can do anything. Where would Constantino have been without his money? That's what I ask. If he had no money, where would he have been? Would he had Roger Stone as a consultant? Not likely.
Right. I
Which
agree.
means
he wouldn't have had Trump.
Right. And 5 of our seats here in the town of Lee were being primaried, and I want to say 4 of those 5 were elected, and the other one ended in a tie. And we do have a few ties in committee seats around the county, and people are asking this morning, what happens?
Yeah,
with
what
a tie?
happens with that? Yeah.
what happens is first there'll be an automatic recount. They'll take into account any absentees first, and then an automatic recount. And then, if it's still tied, I believe the Board of Elections will draw a name.
Oh, okay.
I think it.
Are you
comes
kidding
down,
me?
You got to. No, I believe that's the state election law. I think the Board of Elections gets to determine the winner.
Wow. Do they draw? Do they pick someone? Or do they draw at random?
I think they just put a name in a hat and pull it out.
Wow.
Put the names in a hat. So you could check with Nicole Shortell at Board of Elections, but I believe that's what would happen in that case.
Interesting. Wow.
It's been interesting around the county. I'm hearing this morning that Rozier, even though he was reelected in his primary, doesn't have the weighted vote needed to retain his seat. And that'll mean his entire executive committee will go right along with him, because if the other side, Pacenti's side, has the control, I'm sure they'll replace everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
and that would happen in the fall, right?
In October, September, October.
Yeah.
So the town of Lee has always had the position of Lee first. I mean, we're always thinking of Lee here. We're trying to stay out of the squabble, but our committee, there's no one decision here. It's not. A lot of people think it's just me. It's not. It's always a committee decision, a majority. So, and that's what it will be going forward as well.
Okay.
So.
All right,
anyway.
very, very interesting. Even the right down to, all of these elections, and we're talking about New York City with Tanya, but even right here on the Democratic side, it's going to be very interesting. So on the assembly race, you have Bitar versus Leip. Leip is considered the more progressive candidate. Bitar more established. But then you go up. You're going to have Constantino running against a very moderate Democrat in that congressional race. So,
and possibly Smullen as well.
I do think Smullen will get out, but he has said prior to this that he won't. So there's
if he stays in, it's almost assured that Jen DeBean will win.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Wow, this has been really, really interesting. So, all right, Doug,
far from over.
Far from over.
It's far from over.
And we appreciate your input. Thanks so much.
The bottom line, Bill, is we got to unify the Republicans in this county.
Yes, this division is a problem. Completely agree. Okay, Doug, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
When he says far from over, I just want to underscore that. You have a week left in June, July, August, September, October, first week in November. You basically have 4.5 months now where they're going to campaign as Democrat versus Republican.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long way to go.
It is. And let me bring in one we actually have, and she campaigned very, very hard in supporting Mandami in his efforts to get people elected. It is actually Mandami's wife, Juanita. She's on the line right now. Good morning, Juanita. All right, it's Lucy. Good morning, Lucia.
Good morning. What an exciting show. Those people, they were speaking. It's incredible. It's really good to listen. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow, we have a long way to go.
We have a long way to go. What's going on? And I don't know that his wife's name is Juanita, to be honest. I couldn't think of a name that it would be.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay. What's going on, Lucia? Good morning.
I have to go to the motor vehicle.
Okay.
And somebody went yesterday. Those people are phenomenal. They're the people who run it, you know.
Yes.
The manager there, phenomenal, yeah. But I'm going to Kentucky.
Okay. What are you doing in
I'm going...
A bourbon trail?
Kentucky, just a tour. I have a friend. We have friends there.
Okay.
But no cows. Not for me.
No.
I'm scared to that.
Cows, yeah.
No, but we're going from there to Nantucket.
Are you going to Nantucket as well? Well, that's a very interesting way to... You're taking the long route.
Maneuvering. What it will be, you know, you got to...
Yeah.
You should have bought a camp in Nantucket, Bill.
Yes, it's beautiful there.
Now I could have gone there and you could have had me as a guest.
Yes, I
Anyway.
could have. Yep.
But I
Yeah.
do have friends. I'm going there to visit. They
So
like
you're going from here to Kentucky to Nantucket.
Maybe Nantucket first. I do the opposite. You know what I mean?
You know, there once was a man from Nantucket.
Yeah, there was. Who was
Yes. Well, I can't remember his name.
It's all woman. It's all women. There once was a man.
An old woman?
Yes.
Who's a woman?
Well, it's a little.
See the ocean. I
yes.
forgot what the ocean looks like. You know,
Yeah,
I
you're gonna
come
love
from
it.
The ocean.
It is beautiful out
Yeah.
there. You're really gonna love it. So
So, Bill, can you buy a place now so we can all go?
I'll work on it. We'll get on it. I'll talk to that man from Nantucket. We're gonna get on it.
And you,
So,
and you can invite Monansky. Do I know him?
of course you do. Yeah.
Just from the show, Lucy, and you've seen me in studio a couple of times when you've
Oh,
been
my
here.
God, Jeff, I'm so sorry. Say
It's
hello.
okay.
People ask me, do you know Jeff Monansky? I said, yes, I think I do. Sorry about that. But
That's
everybody
okay.
loves you.
Only
And Bill,
you,
too.
Lucia, could make Jeff's name sound Italian.
I'm so sorry. I'm bad. I'm very bad with names, but I remember yours really well. Like I remember Bill Keeler, don't I?
Yes, you do. You do. All right, Lucia, I'm
Really
moving
like
on.
my name.
You have a
Have a great day.
You have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ciao.
All right. Good luck. Safe travels.
Bye.
That is. So you land in Cincinnati, and then you go to Kentucky, and then you get back on a plane in Cincinnati, and you go to Nantucket.
Oh, she's not driving?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe she is driving. So,
want some comments quick?
Let's do some quickies, and I got
Okay, Lance says, "Tell Doug you can't change facts." And I don't think Doug was trying to change any facts. He says Smullen knew what he was up against and got beat soundly. Maybe he should let the people decide first before endorsing next time. I don't know that that's realistic. When you have a couple of candidates in a primary or more than two, usually the party will endorse a candidate and then the people can decide. It's not like, again, 12 of the 15 back Smullen, but Constantino still won. So it doesn't make the playing field unfair.
No, and I just he ran a ground game like I've never seen before.
It all turned when he started calling you Mr. Keeler.
Yeah.
And
then that whole thought that what he stopped doing was picking a fight every time he came on,
right,
and threatening to sue.
He did want to pick a fight with Butler.
But he did pick a fight with Butler yesterday, which was very interesting.
And Joe in Whitesboro says, "Bill, will you finally now say the season is over for the Mets, or are you going to still keep hanging on for some odd reason?"
I will still keep hanging on for some odd reason.
By the way, Juan Soto day-to-day with a stiff back hip area issue.
Meanwhile, look who's coming back. Lindor's coming back now.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Yeah, so one in, one out.
I wonder if that's by coincidence.
I got to tell you that if you're Lindor right now and you got to come in and impress, because you got some young kids that have been playing really, really well, both defensively and offensively. So I think if you're Lindor, you got to come out swinging the bat. And by the way, he likes leadoff. That's what he loves. He doesn't want to be. He doesn't bring people in. He sets the table. That's Lindor's
We were more
philosophy.
successful when he was bringing them in.
All right. I want to tell you about New York Sash, windows, siding, doors, bathrooms. Just a tremendous job. Their installers are amazing, and they can help you. Just go to their showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro or online at NewYorkSash.com and let New York Sash's family take care of your family. Whether it is windows or doors or siding or a bathroom model, that bathroom can be done in a day or two. A brand new bathroom. It's New York Sash. NewYorkSash.com and Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. It's New York Sash. And River Hills Properties. If you're looking to find out what your home is worth, call River Hills today. They would love to sit down with you. You may not have any interest in selling your home right now, but wouldn't it be nice to know what it could sell for? And River Hills can help you there. That's here and down in sunny Florida. They have offices in Barneveld, in Little Falls, in Newport, and now in Rome. And, of course, a full team of agents ready to serve you in beautiful Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. They never use the lockbox. Your listing agent is always there every time the house is shown. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. 315-896-1009.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. Like that morning status meeting. Always better with bagels. And don't forget the coffee. Ops team working late? How about some Power Bowls to keep them going strong? Sandy's celebrating 10 years at the company. This calls for cupcakes. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
The universal truth of women's shoes, the cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisanne thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by and try them for yourself. We're located in New Hartford on Commercial Drive across from Hobby Lobby.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com. The 4th of July sale is on at upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on our huge selection of brands. And remember, we beat any locally advertised price on a brand we carry. Hurry.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. When you've worked hard to build something meaningful, protecting it should be part of your plan. At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we help families navigate the complexities that come with significant assets, especially estate taxes and long-term care considerations. We break down the implications, explore smart strategies, and help reduce future tax exposure and nursing home costs. Because no two families are alike, every plan is tailored to fit your situation.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Embarrassed by ugly yellow toe fungus?
Living with toe fungus it's embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off. I hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody.
Introducing Crystal Flush. Crystal Flush is the only FDA-registered 2-in-1 home treatment that attacks your toe fungus from both the inside and out. Crystal Flush's new and different combination system knocks out toe fungus for good. Guaranteed.
Crystal Flush is different. After just a few weeks, my fungus was gone. I mean, 100% disappeared. Crystal Flush was the only thing that ever worked. So if you're skeptical because you tried a bunch of other stuff, Crystal Flush is different. This is a game changer.
Crystal Flush is now available without a prescription, but it is not available in stores. Get your risk-free supply today. Go to crystalflush.com. That's CRYSTAL flush.com. Stop being embarrassed by ugly yellow toenails. Go to crystalflush.com or call 800-204-4484.
If you've missed the Kim Komando Show, you've missed a lot.
You know, I just love taking your phone calls.
I want to start by thanking you for what you have given us on this planet. You have made technology digestible.
You're like my friend in IT.
Oh. Only one person that I would like to ask this digital question.
America's digital goddess.
Kim Komando.
Saturday mornings at 10 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
everybody in upstate New York. I don't know where in upstate New York, but thanks for listening to the Keeler Show. Never met this man. Don't know why I'm telling everybody to listen, but thank you very much. By the way, this is Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I have nothing else really to say to you, but I thank you for listening to me tell you to listen to this man, Bill Keeler, on WIBX.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, Manaski has comments.
Boy, where to begin?
YouTube and the app and all of that.
Okay.
YouTube very active this morning.
Let's see. I agree. Leip was a good candidate. Worked. I'm reading comments here. These are not my opinions. I agree. Leip was a good candidate. Worked extremely hard and was always humble and positive. I still thought Bitar had it, though.
I think that is why the turnout is low. I think a lot of people, I talked to a lot of people who said, I thought I didn't see anything from Leip. I thought Bitar had it in the bag. And the number of people who did not vote yesterday in their primary is large. Remember, there were more Republicans that voted in that assembly district in the race between Gentile and Fusco.
Mm-hmm.
There were more Republicans than Democrats that came out in a district that leans Democrat.
It'll be interesting to see. He says
John Wick turnout was a real problem.
John Wick says Bitar isn't old enough. You have to be Butler old to get elected. LOL. Joey Potts. It'll be interesting to see if the Republicans unite behind Gentile or if they do what usually happens in this district, let the Democrats win. Tony says they can't get behind him. He is unelectable. Let's see, Joey. If it's a Democrat district in a Democrat year and Leip has 3 ballot lines, it will be tough to beat him. And Tony followed up to say about Gentile, he just lost an election for county ledge last year.
Yeah, but he performed pretty well in this one.
He did. Let's see.
And we'll have him tomorrow, by the way. Gentile.
Roberta says, also worth pointing out, Fusco isn't exactly a peach. He got the town of Deerfield sued after all. I don't remember that. Are you familiar with that?
I think that it hurt Fusco to be so tied to Rozier. I think that was a problem for him.
I do too. Let's see. Somebody talking about the next Utica mayor's race. Who might run? Would Samantha Testa run? Would Celeste re-enter the race? Would Katie run for mayor? Would Heather Wazlewski run for mayor?
Somebody questioned whether Leip was a progressive. He is backed by the progressives, including Celeste Friend. So don't tell me that's not true. It is true. That's not true. Yeah, it is. It's not true.
Joey Potts, people are over Samantha. Way too negative and always complaining. She dropped to 3rd place and almost lost. Unfortunately, I see Mello running.
Well, she won
Miola. I see Miola running next year.
She won, not that it's a big deal, but she won, I think, quite handily in her Republican committee primary yesterday.
You've already addressed this comment, but I just have to read it because it makes me smile. Whoopi keeps labeling Leip as progressive. No wonder he didn't come on the show.
Who's Whoopi?
You.
Oh, get out of here.
Let's see. Leip was actually the more moderate, Joey says. His whole message was working on both sides, emulating Bollert and Button.
You barely heard. I disagree. And you barely heard from Leip. I'm excited to get him back on. We had Leip once and Bitar once. I don't think there was any real excitement in that race, and that is a problem. And turnout was very low.
Lance and Lee on the Oneida County Republican issue shows me that the committee didn't reach out to the actual voters, along with most other committees. Let's see, along with most other committees other than Oneida County, of course. Okay, so what he's saying is, didn't Constantino win in Lee, so why the endorsement? Essentially, this is a comment about when Doug was on. Why endorse candidates if apparently the committees aren't in line with the voters? I think that's his point.
Well, that's the problem with the Rozier thing, is that you had, like, for instance, Rozier endorsed Fusco. The rest of the party, including county executive, endorsed Gentile.
All right, and then Mike says, this is an interesting point here. Not sure what it means for November, but Constantino got more votes than the two Democrats combined. It seems Gendabine would have to get a majority of independents, even if Smullen stayed in.
I think there are a lot of independents in that race, number one. Number two, the Democratic primary was not very exciting. And I am not surprised votes.
Also in primaries, it's not as, the turnout is never as much as the actual election.
Even the turnout on the Republican side of this thing, I think, was low in the 21st. I think that was quite surprising.
Yeah. But again, you have a Trump-endorsed candidate. You're going to get more Republicans to come out.
Well, now Trump will be all over Constantino. The problem is going to be that is not going to be as effective in the general as it is in the primary. But maybe the 21st, it'll be more effective in the 21st.
I'm supporting Anthony.
You
not transgender bean. I don't back the transgender bean. That's maybe that'll be his new label.
That nickname. You will hear that nickname. I guarantee it. Let's see. Losing his majority. I wonder if Ken steps down. The puppeteer lost his puppets. I already did that.
No, he's
LOL.
not stepping down.
Instead of me first, it's Lee first. And maybe I'm a constituency of one, but I'm for Tony Baloney for Congress. That's Mike.
I'm not for that.
A couple of things to talk about. I want to tell you that the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, it is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, accepting new patients right now. There was the longest time, for almost a year, they were overwhelmed with new patients, and they needed to add a new physician, and it took a while, and therefore they were not accepting new patients. That has been corrected. Dr. Cheryl Mattern has been added, along with Dr. Kosminski, and, of course, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemaleski, all there under one roof at the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. If you're in need of a new primary or you need a second opinion, call the Falcon Clinic today. They can get you in. They'll get you in on time and give you the time you need with your physician. That's a big deal. 315-507-4751. And looking for a new ride? Maybe you are. Right now at Steep Pawnee Mazda, you can save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing. And maybe it's a pre-owned Mazda you're looking for. They have a lot filled with great vehicles. And if it's new, 0.9% on new 2026 Mazda CX-70s, CX-90s, 0% on FEV models, and 2.9% on the new 2026 Mazda CX-30 and CX-5. See Rick or anybody at the dealership for details. As Rick always says, let's make your deal where it's always easy to do business. Steep Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. All right, coming up, Ryan Nobles from NBC, and we'll wrap up this Wednesday morning next.
And now, Babbel proudly presents The Cat Chat.
Bonjour, monsieur. Yes, hi. I'm staying in room 22, and I was wondering if there was anyone I could chat with about my sheets. They seem to be making me just really itchy.
Pardon, vous avez dit un chat?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I just want to chat with maybe like the cleaning service, see which detergent they use. Just a chat.
Chat.
Please, I'm so itchy.
Un instant, s'il vous plaît. Matisse, j'ai un client qui demande un chat.
Oh, my goodness. I thank you. It's just a chat, really just a...
Voilà.
What?
Sir, you requested a cat to scratch you.
Traveling mistakes can really be absurd. Learn to speak like the locals with Babbel, and no one will mistake your chat for a cat.
Sir, please. Your cat.
Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to get up to 50% off. BABBEL.com.
Did you know your most treasured rugs can look new again? At ABC Chem Dry, we specialize in premium area rug cleaning. From treasured family heirlooms to fine rugs from around the world, our trained specialists use a careful 5-step process inspecting, dusting, cleaning, drying, grooming, and protecting, so your rug always gets the expert care it deserves. Don't wait. Call ABC Chem Dry today at 315-738-1111 to schedule a drop-off or pickup.
Looking for a new opportunity with a growing local company? Family-owned Sticks and Stones Firearms in West Winfield is expanding and has an immediate opening for a clerical position. If you're organized, dependable, friendly, support the Second Amendment, and are at least 21 years old, they'd like to hear from you. Join a respected local business with strong community roots and become part of a growing team at Sticks and Stones Firearms. Call today to apply, 315-204-4223. Sticks and Stones Firearms in West Winfield. Hiring now.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Well, we have a few minutes to take your phone calls if you'd like. It looks like I'm not going to get Ryan this morning. Boy, and speaking of that, the story of what's her name on the Today Show, her mother,
Savannah Guthrie,
is really, really bad. And there she is. She's just trying to get back on TV, and all of a sudden, the story breaks all over again.
Yes.
They'd received a message that had said that her mother had died, and they believed that was true. Pretty terrible. So now she's trying to, smile and be happy and do this show, and this story's right back at it again.
Right, and she's like in the studio while they're playing this recorded piece of.
That cannot be easy, I would assume.
No, my honest reaction is, what do you mean they received a message that she had died from the kidnappers? Allegedly?
There were messages that were coming in from the kidnappers while this was all going on, and some of them were not real. They were deemed to be fake.
Correct.
But there were 2 that were sent directly to the family that were believed to be real. And the weird part of it is they were not asking for money. No ransom money or anything. But they did just say, we're letting you know that she died. Not that I killed her or anything like that she died. And remember, she was without her medicine, that sort of thing. So,
well, you could argue that they did kill her.
Absolutely. I am not saying that.
Yeah.
But that's not what they said. The note said that she died, not that we have killed her.
Think of how stupid criminals many
but
times
I wonder
are so
if you're
dumb.
talking about a deviant, like a sexual deviant. There are people that there are guys out there that are into younger guys that are into sexually abusing elderly women. I mean, that's a weird, right? Thing, but it's real.
So,
and I wonder, and I don't. Obviously, we have no idea. I don't know, but why did you take her? If you aren't holding her for ransom, why would you take her? It doesn't make any sense, unless it's something really strange and deviant. I'm just saying. Very odd.
This to me underscores why criminals are stupid. First of all, so there was originally a ransom requested. They were able to get away, not leave evidence to be tracked down. They did not find whoever was responsible for the kidnapping. They did not find the victim in this case. Okay, and then to follow up after she's deceased, you've gotten no money. You've basically made it so because she's deceased, you're not going to get any money. You are just risking the fact that another chance to reach out, another message leaves a trail that would lead back to you.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks, hey, at least they wanted to give the family some closure if that's what really happened. They wanted to let it be known. But, criminals are stupid.
Stupid. Let's see.
I have one more real quick that I wanted to mention.
Okay.
That's a little off the
I got a
beaten path.
call and I've got a comment here.
Caitlin Conley, okay. If you remember, there was a candidate running in New York State called Caitlin Conley, but is a different Caitlin Conley.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's an Army veteran. She's going by Kate Conley, C-A-I-T, Kate Conley. She won her Democratic primary for the 17th Congressional District, beating John Capello. So she will now face Congressman Mike Lawler in New York for
that's
the
interesting.
17th Congressional District. But I remember when she first announced, it was like, wait a minute, Caitlin Conley's running for office now? But this is in the Hudson Valley.
Donna says, Donna this morning says, that's because the son-in-law did it. I don't believe that's true, Donna. Talking about the Guthrie case.
I don't believe that's
Donna
true
also
either.
sent me pictures of Highmark Stadium. Today they're debuting Highmark Stadium. I believe it's today, or they did yesterday. And cutting the ribbon, maybe it was yesterday. Really, really cool. Asking also who won between Gentile and Fusco. Right now, Gentile's ahead. We think that race may be done. Richard,
Where did they cut the ribbon, by the way, in Buffalo? At the front
at the
gate?
stadium. Yeah.
You got to put again, stupid. You put the tape across the end zone, and you have Josh Allen or the running back cutting through that tape.
You could whip the scissors. Here's Richard on the election. Hi, Richard.
Hey, good morning, guys. Quick to say, Jeff, it's nice to see you're back. I haven't called in a while. Nice to see you're back with the team there, you guys.
Thanks,
Richard. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, and the other thing, one thing I find about the elections are typically, now you maybe know more about this, Bill, because you do the advertising, but they don't put the districts in. I mean, if you're not a regular voter and you don't follow politics, you have no idea really where your territory is.
It's hard. This time of year is very hard. You're right.
And secondly, I noticed that no one puts their party affiliation on much anymore. So you're looking at these guys and it says vote for such and such, and it doesn't say Republican line. So, look at the Republican line or Democratic line. It's more of a guess now. So you're guessing that the person. Well, it looks like are you following the guy because of his thoughts, or are you following parties? I don't think it's really clear for most people on a primary vote. They're not going to really go out because it's not a major election. You got to make it more interesting.
Here's what made it very, very difficult is that the redistricting split us all up. We never used to have to worry about it. If somebody was running for Congress, it would be for Utica, Rome, and Herkimer County. If they were running for the Assembly, for the most part, you'd have Brian Miller over there, and then the seat here in Utica. So, but you're right. I think people, because you have a general that you want Democrats and Republicans and independents to vote for down the road. So it's not as much of a. But I will tell you what will go away most likely is when Constantino does his commercials. If you saw those commercials, there'll be less for the general. There'll be less. Do you know he was a Democrat? As if that is a terror, because he's going to want to bring in some Democrats too. So they tend to be a little more partisan for the primaries, and then they kind of play to a larger audience for the general. So we'll see.
I just didn't really even know. I knew I didn't have to vote.
Yeah,
but I mean, and I kind of follow it. So if me not knowing where the territory is, what would you think of someone who doesn't even follow politics? So like,
you're right.
Do I go out
you'd be lost. The problem is you're dealing in 30-second commercials usually, so it's very hard to get all that information in there. But you're right. You're absolutely right.
The only other thing, too, is I'm surprised that Jordan voted or backed Smeldon, and Trump was going for the other guy there. And I mean, that was
Jordan supported Constantino.
Oh, Constantino. I'm sorry, the other way around.
They were all in on Constantino. Yep.
And like Jeff said, what was it? Did he contribute to his campaign or something? Very strange why that was happening.
Yep, very good question.
Anyway.
We don't know, but it seemed to play a bit of a role yesterday.
I think the primaries, generally people aren't interested, unfortunately, because it's not.
Turnout was very low. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Richard. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
You have a great day. Welcome back. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
And Wayne, did I lose Wayne? I must have. Okay. All right. Anything else? Because we're counting down.
Steve
we're in
just
the
sent me
final
this.
minute. The final minute.
Google Kathy Hochul or go to her Instagram page. This is her at the grand opening yesterday of Highmark Stadium. It's just the cheesiest, corniest picture.
I did see it.
And on Instagram, she says, millions of hours, thousands of workers, one incredible result. How about all the tax dollars? She doesn't mention all the money that the state poured into a private business. I'm sorry to get on the Bills about this, but it's happened with the Giants and every other team, pro team in New York. How much money do taxpayers have to pay for a private business that's going to reap billions of dollars in profits?
I want to say, listen, if it was the Giants, I'd be agreeing with you. But it's the Bills and, waste. It's the Bills. Clinton Road, power is out over there in the New Hartford area because of a power line.
WIBX
And
Road, W295
From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
What went way up has come back down. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Oil prices that spiked in the Iran conflict back to where they were before. Brent crude back under $75 a barrel. WTI almost at pre-war levels, down to 71. And early this morning, President Trump posted on Truth Social that big oil companies are not reducing gas prices fast enough and customers are being gouged. Fox Business's Taylor Riggs reports that'll take time.
Companies at the pump, like a Chevron at your local corner station, they're dropping prices, but they're also having to refill all of the inventories that were depleted.
AAA's national average for regular still $3.92 a gallon. That's almost $1 more than before the Iran conflict. And speaking of that, the UN's atomic watchdog says today, despite Iran's denial, the deal with the U.S. does allow for nuclear inspections.
I just spoke with President Trump about the situation with Iran and the ongoing negotiations. While the timeline is unclear, President Trump says there is no rush getting these inspectors into the country, but told Fox News that U.S. inspectors will join the IAEA when they ultimately go into Iran to locate this highly enriched uranium that we know is buried deep underground.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Israel attacked Hezbollah militants again in Lebanon, which Iran demands Israel withdraw from, but the defense minister says they will not do that, even if the U.S. demands it. We've also just learned from U.S. Central Command that the American military went on the attack a few days ago in Syria with an airstrike that killed a senior ISIS terror leader. Now to New York City.
Solidarity is the force that we need to vanquish Trump's fascism.
Brad Landers, one of three progressives who won Democratic primaries. He beat Congressman Dan Gold.